You
Hey,
said you tagged me on Facebook?
yes. Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Tee, and I'm here with W.A.D.E Bloodgood. And we just wanted to make a quick Facebook Live video. I'm completely ghetto rigging this right now. I have live streaming from my phone. We're on Skype on my laptop. But anyways, we're doing a 30-day vulnerability challenge. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about that publicly and say why we're doing this and kind of explain the story and the concept behind it all, because we believe it's really valuable and can add a lot of goodness.
I think
So
it's going to add a lot of value to our lives and to the lives of people that tune in that are, looking to release some of their inner stuff that they feel that are blocking them.
right, and so Wade and I were having a conversation, and as you guys may know, if you follow me or whatnot, hey Dave, nice to see you on. I've been completely these last couple months in a phase where it's not as natural and easy for me to make videos, and I'm wanting to grow more and evolve more and become a better version of myself like I always do, and so does Wade. And so we were having this conversation, and we're just like, we know that being uncomfortable and getting outside of our comfort zone helps us grow and it helps us become stronger, and we don't want to stay stagnant. So we challenged each other to do a video of vulnerability every single day for the next 30 days. And what happens, Wade, if we don't do one, or if we miss one?
So basically what I proposed was that if any day that we missed, I would donate, or she would donate $20 to our nonprofit of choice.
Yes.
And I also propose that if we don't miss a day in 30 days, that we also should reward ourselves. I'm willing to give $100 to any nonprofit organization. You actually would make more if you just don't show up, $20 a day equals up to more than 100 if you're in it for nonprofit.
Right, exactly. And thank you guys all for whoever is tuning in. I can't really see, my phone's lagging. I see, hi David Harrington, nice to see you. Lashak, hello. Dino, hello. Dave Daly, hello. So we just kind of wanted to explain the feelings and the concepts and everything behind the whole idea of how this came about. So Wade, do you want to start?
How this whole idea came about?
Yeah, how we were just like talking. We've been in our shit, and there's things that, like, Wade is in a little bit of a different situation than I am, but I've been really not living up to my fullest potential, and that's not okay with me, and that's not something that I'm willing to stay at. Like, that's not a level I want to play on. And Wade is in a different situation, but kind of the same in the sense that he wants to play on a bigger level too, and be able to share himself with the world, which is part of his purpose. Especially, I don't know if you guys have read his book that was just released a couple months ago. But yeah, so we were talking, and we had this long conversation on the phone. Our conversations always end up being like hours when they're supposed to be 15 minutes or something. But we just feel it's so important to do that, to be vulnerable and to put ourselves out there, because there's probably so many people who are going through the same stuff that we are, but yet at the time, we're in that zone, and at least for me, I don't feel that I have wisdom to share when I'm down in the dumps, or when I'm feeling like not like myself or whatever, when in actuality, that's the times that I should do it the most.
Yeah. That's the work that we want to share, and I'm in the same position as you. We have different storylines going on with our life, but I know for me, I tend to go back into my shell or into a cave and be more like a hermit, and I'm not being productive because it doesn't feel good to me to put myself in that shell. I mean, I like the seclusion and privacy of my shell, but sometimes I'm living in there and I'm scared to look out, and I get nervous, and I'm judging myself. I'm already it is completely fear-based, like you had said earlier. You know, it's like I have to work through these fears, and I have to work through worrying about what other people think of me, because for me, that has been a big problem for me. I do have insecurities, and I do worry about what other people think, but I'm working through that. And actually, from where I used to be so many years ago to where I'm at now, I mean, the growth is massive. But in order to go to the next level of where I'm trying to strive to, I have to continue to face these uncomfortable things within myself so I can grow past them. And then I can actually be more benefit to myself and everybody else around me. And I think that also, by doing that, it releases this inner energy that I believe is creating blockage from a lot of good things entering my life and other opportunities with other people. Because when I do come out of my shell and I do share the vulnerability or the intimacy of parts of my life and what's going on with me, that I can see the flow of energy of good people that enter my life in those moments of me opening up and letting the world give me the things that I really desire, you know, the things that I really want to achieve. And the truth is I've learned from myself, from all the work I've done till now, is that it's not necessarily what we would call easy. There is a lot of resistance, and it isn't easy for me to show up. Sometimes it's not easy for me to look at myself in the mirror in the morning. So to push myself to do that is growing me stronger. It's growing me to a place that I can do it more frequently and be of more benefit, like I said, to myself and to everybody else. And that's a big part of why I want to do this, because I want to keep elevating myself, and I have to face these fears, and I have to push myself to do the things that are uncomfortable. And so this 30 days is really going to give me an opportunity to talk on a wide range of subjects and different things that I feel that I've been holding in that are holding me back.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And we have a lot of things in common. And somebody like W.A.D.E, for example, who is just absolutely amazing. And I'm so privileged and I'm so grateful to call him such a dear friend. You know, we meet every other week, and I've just learned so much from this guy. And he's just amazing. And you know, W.A.D.E is the monster motivator, and he's all about, you know, breaking through fear and facing your fears head on. And like, I mean, at the end of the day, what you don't face, it hinders you, you know? And like,
and it'll keep rearing its ugly head in your life in many different ways too, right? You know?
Yeah. And for me, like the last couple months, it's been a really reflective period. It's been, I haven't been sure about things or which direction. I mean, I've had another spiritual awakening. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I can't make sense of my own life, so how am I able even to share that and like help other people make sense of theirs, even though I'm really good at that for some reason. But I don't know, I feel that like it's, especially now in this time and day that we're living in, with all these changes going on, all the chaos, all the stuff. I mean, I don't even like logging on to my social media. I haven't been the best that I could be with my social media, because I literally dread it. I don't like seeing all the bullshit and all the chaos, and like, but I have to go through my notifications, and it's like depressing sometimes, so I just don't do it. And then like a day turns into a week, and a week turns into a month, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got 387 pending posts, like whoa.
That becomes overwhelming, doesn't it?
Yes, and I'm sick of that. I'm so sick of that. And I'm in the state where, you know, I'm so good at being a recluse, and I'm completely okay being by myself, but that's not the point of life. Like, the point of life is to be together, to love, to come together. We're all connected as one anyways at the end of the day. And, you know, to share all of our experiences together, learn and grow together, and help each other out and lift each other up, instead of, you know, bringing each other down and all the low energy vibrational stuff. So
absolutely. I admired the fact that you have the ability to be so close to W.A.D.E and to make friends with him, because he talked about you as well, because I tune into as many shows as I can, and you're bringing in a whole other side of value to him that may have never entered his life from the spiritual side of things. And when I watch him, because I can see from when I first tuned into him, he's evolving and growing as a person too, and it's such a beautiful thing to watch. And for me in my life, like, I know I motivate people all the time. I'm a big encourager. I know all the right things, and I know even how to tell people what to do and how to do it to achieve the things they want. But then I come home and I'm not applying necessarily maybe those things to my life, because what has happened for me is I was in another state of mind, and so I've been doing all this work to get my mind right. Mm-hmm. Now that I've grown a lot stronger, I need to keep building on that so I can really grow my strengths, because I know what my strengths are. My strengths, I can encourage, I know how to motivate, I know how to get out there and make people really feel good and feel positive. But I want to be able to, and I know not every day isn't like happy. Everybody has moments. It's an ebb and tide of flow, like the ocean and stuff. But to just find more joy and more gratitude and more appreciation out of everything in life, so when the bad moments come, we can reflect on the gratitude and appreciation. So it actually softens the feelings of these negative events that we encounter. When I encounter negative events or things, I internalize things so much because I'm an empath and stuff. And so, and I learned, I had a soul reading with W.A.D.E, and just what kind of was explained on how to ground myself and how to release stuff out. Well, I never, it probably was presented to me before, but I wasn't paying attention. And I gather particles of energy from people all day. So while I'm out combating negativity, being my positive self and encouraging people, a lot of the people I encounter have negativity. And if I'm at the grocery store, I can shift somebody's vibration around for them, but I have to deal with their negativity first. And what happens is I gather some of those particles, and I don't go home and cleanse myself of that energy. And then over time it builds up, and then I basically become depleted. And at that point I become very recluse, because I'm weighed down by this heavy energy that's not even mine. And then I start to second guess, is this what I want to do for a living? Or, do I really want to travel the world and talk on stages and go to school and tell kids, or even just a private practice of just helping people on like a life coaching level, which I'm already doing in my regular life for who wants to be a part of that, and making a lot of great headway, and a lot of people's lives are really changing. It's just a day-to-day thing, but I need to implement this for myself, because I do not feel good when I go in my shell. I do love to be a recluse, and I love the privacy, and I like being by myself because I've learned to like myself. And so I love spending time with myself. I mean, and but I also love people too. And I feel like when I recluse up, I'm robbing the people in my lives, the real me. Because when I'm in my shell, I'm really me, but I really don't want nothing to do with the outside world. So I'm not responding the way that I'd like. So for me, it's a matter of like implementing the work. And, I give a lot of great advice and insight, but in order to lead by example, I have to be doing this exact stuff too. So I've done a lot of work to get where I'm at, but now I'm stepping my game up. Now I am going to face these other fears, because I grew my mind strong now, and now I know that I can lift more weight with my mind, and I can combat these fears, and I can overcome the things that I believe that I can see within myself that are holding me back. And by doing this vulnerability challenge with you for the next 30 days, we'll be able to share so many different sides and aspects of at least myself and maybe yourself that other people can identify with. And maybe through us being vulnerable and them seeing that we're willing to show the world, because we don't even have to show the world, but if we're going to go on Facebook and post videos, the whole world has the opportunity to see that. Yeah. And, I'm nervous sometimes to just show the people in my life. So to show the world is even a bigger vulnerable statement to make. And I want you to know that I'm nervous and I'm a little bit scared and I have a little bit of fear, but I'm encouraged by that to do that, because it's about helping people on the other end. Because you're just like me and I'm just like you. We might all have different stories, but our emotions, no matter where they came from, sadness is sadness, hate is hate, anger is anger, and you can paint all kinds of pictures with those things, but the emotional feeling's the same. And if we can start to relate on these levels, we can stop being scared, and we can come out of our shells, and we can let people know that it's okay to do that. It's okay to be vulnerable and intimate on a level where you're showing who you are, because how is the world supposed to love and care for you, and how are you supposed to accept the love and care that the world has to give you if we don't know who you are, if we don't even really know what's going on? Absolutely. And sometimes we're scared. For me, I'm scared that if I open up in this vulnerability that, a lot of people say, oh, you're such a great guy, you're so amazing. I'm so scared that people are going to find out that I'm not a great guy and that I'm not amazing, because it's not that I'm not, but I have lived a life before I became the person I am today that wasn't a great guy, that wasn't amazing. And part of my problem is being terrified that you're all going to find out later on as my career builds that, man, this guy was a liar, a cheater, a thief, and he was on drugs and he did all these horrible things. But I know a lot of other people have done this that are actors and singers, and everybody still loves them. But there's a part of me that was always told that I'm not good enough and people won't love me. And I just don't want to let people down and say, I thought he was something special, but he's just a dirtbag. And the truth is I used to be a dirtbag. And even now I do have what I call douchebag moments. I mean, not everybody's always the best guy in the world, but I'm doing my best every day. And in comparison of measurement of where I used to be, I'm miles away from the person I was. And I really found the true, authentic W.A.D.E, but I want to continue to be that person. I don't want to slip back into the ruts of the comfortability of being in that shell, because I deserve to show myself to the world. And that is I believe wholeheartedly that is part of my purpose of being alive, is to share these moments, because I know that I'm not the only one. And by doing that, then I can go to my shell when I need privacy, but I don't have to go there to escape.
Right.
If I need privacy, it's great. A shell is great to have, but not to live in it for 5 months. Like you've been in for a couple months. I've been in and out of my shell since October, since just kind of going, what's going on?
One foot in, one foot out. No, and the truth is, though, is we all have our shit. We all have the past. I mean, with me, I'm completely open with all. I was a drug addict. I mean, I've been and done so many bad things, and I've been not the most favorable person. And I mean, it doesn't matter though. You can't go back and change the past. The past is the past, and I can't do anything about it. What I could do is make peace with it and know and learn my lessons from that, which I have, and I just noticed that Jordan Scott is on. I've known Jordan since I was 12, I think, or 13. So he's seen, and hi, Scott Bender. Hi, Gary. Hi, Herb. And Devette. Hey. So Jordan has seen me when I was on heroin, when I was smoking crack with my mom. He's seen, oh my gosh, like this huge transformation. I remember talking to him, I think it was like over 6 months ago. And he's like, I really literally didn't think you were going to make it, Tiff. I cannot believe the person that you are now. And like, that was just such a compliment, because it's true. We all have in some form or another our dark side, and getting it out in the open for me has been so therapeutic and healing. And my challenge now is like, okay, I've done that and everything, but then like the struggles that I face these days, like now, like my everyday life, on like making sense of everything. Like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to monetize on what I'm doing? How am I supposed to, be able to afford paying for my bills, living my passion and my purposes? Like, and it's just crazy, because I'm like such a perfectionist that it really, really stunts my growth at times, because it's like, I have to take imperfect action, and doing that for me is such a struggle, but I have to do it anyways, because imperfect action is better than no action, right? But
what I love about you is like, you're like, not, it's like, because you want to be perfect. For me, it's like, I'm very, very, even before this all started, I was very stressed out, trying to get Skype up, trying to log into my account, and all these things were happening. And I am so technically challenged, and I really want to be online, and I have online businesses. This is not even a joke, but they're not really doing what I want them to do because of this very purpose. Being technically challenged has me so scared. I feel like I would love to, as I financially get in a better position, I'd love to be able to hire someone, but I'm open to anybody that wants to help me say, well, what is it that you're technically challenged with? Because I was just telling my girlfriend, just even creating like a paragraph that leads you to the links of YouTube and my Facebook and my Instagram. I'm like, I see everybody doing it, and I'm like, and it's probably so simple, but I see that and I just start to sweat, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't figure this out. And I know it's easy, and I know because I get nervous that I'm creating my own nervous blockage because of that. And I feel like I can't do it, but I know I can. Those words, I can't do it, are actually part of the problem. I can do it. I need to keep doing it. But I've literally ran into situations of where I spent 2 or 3 days trying to figure something out, and then I reached out on Facebook and asked, does anybody know how to just get something into a file form? And people said, yeah, just send it over to me. And within 20 seconds, it felt like 20 seconds, probably 2 minutes, they sent it over. I spent 3 days, and I followed each and every step, and I realized that that's holding me back too, because if I can't do this other technical side of things, how am I, and I want to grow into that side. I identify with Dave Daly when he says, he'd rather have a tooth pulled than write anything. Like me, I'm the opposite. I love writing, but I'm very discouraged when it comes to reading. And I would rather have all my teeth ripped out than read a book. But in order for me to understand and learn more things besides receiving it from the divine, I have to read. I have to read more books to gather this information, and that can be grueling for me as well. And that is another thing that I'm facing at this moment to continue to push myself forward, because if I want to go and grow to where I want to go, then I need to do these things. I need to face my fears, and I need to worry that being it. And for you, basically, imperfection is the most perfect thing that you could be in the world. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because that's really the truth, that you believe that we're all the same and we all are that. Perfection is just in the eye of the beholder. And probably you, like me, we're probably our worst critics. I mean, a lot of people probably have said some things, but I'm the one that's beating myself up at home. They don't come home with me and continue to tell me things that keep me down or make me feel insufficient.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all are the ones that get in our own ways. There's really no one that stops us or comes in our way stops us from doing anything except for ourselves. And I'm just, like we were talking the other night, and hi Colin, hi Matt,
Hi guys.
hi Koshik. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. Thank you so much for tuning in. At the end of the day, it's self-love and self-care. And I'm just going through this with somebody in my life that I'm related to, and who is just had a really huge transformation, and it's been so awesome. And I've seen firsthand, because I was there too. I hated myself. I used to just not want to live after, I lost everything, including my daughter, my ex-husband, anything, my houses, money, people, whatever. And I really just was so mean to myself and so hard on myself that, I let people treat me like shit. And there's a saying, and I really, really feel in my heart that it's true, that we personally as humans, we don't let people treat us any less than how we treat ourselves. So if you're in a bad relationship and you're getting beat up, let's say, for example, you're in that relationship because there's something within inside yourself that you're treating yourself in a certain way, that you don't have enough love and respect and care for you, that you're allowing this to happen. Whereas if you did have a healthy esteem, you would say, fuck that, you're not doing that to me. So at the end of the day, we're our own enemies in a sense, but we could also be our own best friends. And I think that that's the transformation that I've really have learned in the process, and that I've seen personally through numerous people. And it's really, really cool once you can get there and get through that and be like, no, I am deserving of awesomeness in every aspect of my life, and I'm worth it. And everybody is. We all are. Like, we're all so freaking cool, and we're all so amazing. And who cares what we've done in the past? Okay, so we used to be bad people. We may still do bad things sometimes. I mean, nobody's perfect. I really just don't like that word. I think perfection is impossible, and it's a fairy tale, a non-reality. But like, at the end of the day, like, it's okay. Like, we need to forgive ourselves, and we need to love ourselves. And I think that, like, for me, this next 30 days, I need to be able to give myself permission to be vulnerable on camera, live, like publicly, whatever I do. And like, that nervousness that you were talking about, it's so cool because, I've been doing this for not a long time, but like I think a year. March 26th was a year. And I've you can turn that nervousness, that intense nervousness that like makes you shake and just really fucks you up. Excuse my language. You could turn that into something good and make it a good nervousness. And I always like to think of it as like, I'm like, okay, I'm making a video where pretty much it has the potential to be viewed by millions of people. And then I start to get nervous, and I'm like, oh my gosh, millions of people could see this. And then I'm like, I have to redirect my thoughts and be like, okay, they're not millions of people, they're millions of lights. And if I can, what I'm sharing, if it helps even just 1, 2, 3, 4 people instead of millions, that's totally fine with me. I'm willing to put myself out there for that. But it's something I have to constantly remind myself of, because I get in my own way. I mean, I literally just like dropped off the face of social media like these last couple of months. Like, it's just crazy. So I'm so glad, and I'm so thankful.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm so thankful that you agreed when we were talking the other day. I'm like, let's do a challenge. All right, we're gonna video every day, even when we don't want to, and just be vulnerable and just fucking put ourselves out there. Be real, be raw. Even if it's bad, even if it's good, even if it's just whatever, just do it.
I want to thank you for that too, because you know what? I believe it's all lining up for a reason, and you're coming out of your shell, and I've been recognizing all of this too. And so by creating this challenge, it's going to be good for us, because I'm not holding nothing back, you guys. Like, I'm already, the cool part, I jump around a lot because I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I do have ADD and all these other things, so I'm like, yeah, even by saying that, I forgot what I was going to say, so never mind.
Well, real quick, there's tons of comments here. Let me see. Colin Porter said, we're all victims of the ideas of that were spoon-fed to us. Recognizing that we can put the new ideas in there is our sanctuary. Yes, I love it, Colin. For you, those of you who don't know Colin Porter, he is amazing. He's from the UK. Colin has been with me from the beginning. I met him through Blab. We go way back, and he's just an awesome human being. Caleb Mason is on. Hi, Caleb. Thanks for joining. I love you. Jamie says, you're an amazing woman. So are you, babe. Tom Ladegard's on. Hi, Tom. Matthew Thompson, hi. Devette, so proud and inspired. Scott Bender, hi. David Harrington, great job. Congratulations to you both. Dave Daly said, what you owe, guys. I don't know what, I'm sorry, Dave, but I don't know what that means. I think it was a mistake. But thank you so much for the comments and the feedback. We really appreciate it. Okay, did you remember what you were going to say now?
No, I didn't. I actually was trying to remember too, because it was something that you said, and it just sparked something in my mind to say. But I'm also working on letting people actually talk when I'm talking with them. Because you've spoke with me before, and I can just go and go and go and go, and you don't really even have to ask me any questions. I'll create my own and keep going. So I want to learn better because, to be honest with you, I want to begin to interview people too, and I want to be able to step in that realm and to understand people and to share other people's story too. I think it's very empowering for people to know that they're important as well. You know, it's not just about me, and I'm just a regular guy that's just trying to be open and honest with everybody. You know, I'm trying to love myself better, but by doing that, I want to love everybody else more. And I'm realizing that more and more in my life, that I'm actually just have a lot of love for everybody. Even the people that are just not so great in the world, I just found a way to love them, because I realized their ugliness isn't really who they are.
Yeah, it's not earth. It's the earthly form.
Try not to. I know it's hard to do, but I have to stop judging myself so harshly, and loving myself more. So by doing that, I have to stop judging I have to practice this everywhere to be able to receive it within myself. You know, I need to give the love and give to everybody, because that's what I want my life to be about.
Yeah.
And when people that are negative meet me, they can go away saying, wow, that I never expected to get that. You know, I never thought that because when I behaved badly, a lot of people in my life would always point that out. Hey, look or they left my life. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to let people know you are behaving badly and it's hard to be around you, but I still love you. And I know that you can do better, because I did. And if you want to know, I used to be all of these things, and you're not doing so great right now, but look, you can do better. And it's beautiful to have these stories to share, you know?
It is. I think at the end of the day, you know, we all play the role of messengers, teachers, and students. Sometimes all at once, or sometimes simultaneously. And we really coming here on this earth form as humans, you know, we're just employing this vessel that allows us to live on this planet, you know, to survive these climates and everything. But we're really an infinite conscious being. We're really a soul inside of just this vessel of a body that we have, you know. And I believe that I don't think we're ever born or we ever die. Like we're just infinite, and that's just so powerful if you think about it, because like we really are. It's all about like our experiences here, and it's not about us. Like it's what can we give back, or what can we create to make everything better. And so, I mean, like, for example, when we, you know, transition into the next realm or dimension or wherever we go, we're not going to be able to take our house or money or, you know, cars or whatever with us. And like, that's a complete, like, I used to be all about the shiny objects, and like, I've had tons of money. I've lost tons of money multiple times. And this last like spiritual awakening I just went through, it was so crazy, because I'm like really tripped out, because my soul is like, you know what, I don't really care. As long as like my physical needs are met, like I can eat and I have a good place to sleep, you know. I mean, obviously it's just like, you know, our immediate needs or whatever, all that stuff's not important to me anymore. It really isn't. And that's like another really, really important reason why I want to do this, because I know what I want, and I know what I have to do to get it, and it's having to get outside of myself and not be so, you know, let my ego take control. Because when my ego is in control, well, the lower vibrational aspect of my ego, it's like it's all about me, and like I'm self-conscious, and like, oh my gosh, I don't have my eyebrows on, I can't make a video, nope, I have to wait 3 hours until I get ready and do my makeup, when then I already forgot my message I was going to share in the first place. Like, no, fuck that. Like, that is so stupid. You know, like, at the end of the day, it's not, I mean, the message is what's important. We're all messengers, we're all students, and we're all teachers. There's nobody like better or lower or whatever. We're just all in our different aspects and different experiences and different points in our life.
I relate in my own little way to, I mean, I have eyebrows, I don't have to put them on, but I relate in different ways of what you're saying, for sure. Like like what Colin said, I can't read what he's saying to you because I can't see that. But
He said,
I feel like some of the problem that for me has been for about 37 years, I was under the influence of other people's ideas and other people's belief systems and other people's thoughts and opinions of me and what they think about the world. And I really was just kind of grabbed on to that because that's what was taught to me. So I practiced whatever that was. And I realized by rediscovering myself that I'm rediscovering new beliefs for myself. But these deep-rooted practices and beliefs of how it's supposed to be is something that I have to shed. It's like skin that you have to shed, because accepting new beliefs, my subconscious mind goes, "What are you talking about? That's not how it goes." And I say, "Listen, it's time for you to learn some stuff instead of just absorbing what one person told you. Why don't you ask that one question to 10 people and find out what 10 people think about that?" And now you have a broader perspective of the same view. Yes. And that's better for me because I don't feel boxed up. I want to fly and I want to be as big as the universe and as big as the sky is. So I can't box myself up with the ideas of other people. I need to have these open beliefs, but I realize for myself, I have to continue to do this every day and every day. So my subconscious is willing to say, "You know what? I'm going to let go of that old belief and I'm going to replace it with this new belief." Because I'm training my subconscious mind of what I want it to do.
That's
and
so
what
funny.
I believe is the truth. Like I believe what I believe now. Like I had some Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door. I don't know if I shared this with you or not, or anybody, but I had some Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door, and I didn't answer. And I looked out the window and saw them walking off, and I was like, "Oh, well, I said, well, you know what? The next time they come, I'm going to answer the door because I want to give them my book." And I wanted to share my book with them. And I said, I shouldn't shut them out, because if I'm shutting them out, then they'll shut me out. So when they knocked on my door actually like 3 days later, which was kind of a quick turnaround for them to be in the neighborhood again, but I did kind of ask the universe to bring them back. And these two women knocked on my door, and I answered, and I went outside and started talking to them. And I told them that I was really proud of them for being vulnerable and being like putting yourself, they're going door to door to share their beliefs. I mean, that's pretty powerful, because any door can open up and put a gun in your face or pull you in or tell you to get the hell off of my property. I never want to see you again and go to hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be different. And so I opened this door and I listened to them, and I was in agreement with a lot of things they were saying. And at that time I told them, could they hold on? And I went and I brought my book to them. And I told them that actually God helped me write this book. And they looked at it, and I gave one to each of them, and they opened it up a little bit, and they kind of just put it away and held it. And then after a little bit, one of the women said that she couldn't accept my book. And when she said this, instantly I did not feel very good at all. And the other woman then handed the book back, and the woman said, well, I kind of flipped through it, and I didn't see anything that would lead me to reading the scripture. And at that point, I had been very, very nice and loving to these women, but I told them that at that point that I feel like our conversation is over, and that I would like them to leave now because I'm feeling very uncomfortable. I do not like the feeling that I'm getting, and I feel like that we were having a really good open conversation, and now they're rejecting me and they're putting up a barrier. And I feel it loud. I mean, even though it's invisible, it was like steel, and it was right there.
Yeah.
And I just told them, thank you for coming by, and keep up the good work of what you guys are doing and what you believe in. And I told them when they stepped down off the porch, I said, I love you guys and have a good day. But they never reciprocated any loving words. They didn't even really walk away with an attitude of kindness or caring or anything. It's like they just walked away. And I told myself that I'm never going to do any. And I knew right away that it's a misinterpretation of God, because God God doesn't reject love. And God doesn't say that it has to be by this one written line in a book.
Right.
And I know this to be true because I communicate with God on a very regular basis. I have a very strong connection with what is, in my belief, God. And there's a million labels in the world of whatever that is for each individual, but I've connected with it, and I know. And so for me, because I've actually connected with it, I can actually offer those women love. And maybe they went home and prayed for me to become Jehovah, and that's fine. And I'm happy that they're doing that for me, because anybody, in whatever you believe, as long as you're trying to pray happiness and good for my life, even if it's in your way of doing it, it's only good for me, and it's good for you too, because the feelings you're generating towards me, you're the one that's going to reap the benefits of that. So I got to keep positive love for everybody, and to these people that reject me and people that tell me no and that I'm not good enough, or if I don't do it their way, then they don't want nothing to do with me. And that's not easy for me to do.
But that's on them. Like, as long as you're coming with good intentions and you know your heart and your come from is pure, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's none of our business what other people think anyways. We can't control anybody or anything or any circumstance except for ourselves and how we react to things. And as long as you're coming, in my opinion, from an intention of love and goodness, then however people react, that's on them. You know, it has nothing to do with you. And you said something. You said something a little bit ago.
And I do know that, and I do recognize that. But at some point, when their words start to have effect on my feelings, like my vibrational feeling,
you feel it. Yeah,
it's very important for you and me and anybody else to set boundaries for these people, because I want to respect your energy field, and I also want you to respect mine. And it doesn't mean that you can't say what you want, but if I'm feeling offended, you're right, it is on me. But it's also important for me to take control of that. And if my boundaries say it's time for you to leave or for me to step away, that's how I do that politely.
Yeah,
I don't
and
have
you're setting an example by doing
that. I don't
that.
argue with you. I just say, I love you and have a nice day. Can you please get off my porch now?
Colin Porter actually said something really in alignment with what you were talking about earlier about having to remind yourself every day. He said he battles his own programs daily, so he relates to this 100% about what we're talking about. And Gary Oakley says, thanks to you both for being so open, honest, and willing to share your life challenges. Just saying, yeah, baby. Love you, Gary. Tom says, hi. Colin says, love you guys. Keep rocking it. Tom Ladegard. Okay, let's see. DeVette. Okay, Tom says, that was rude. They just came to your door and want to impose their beliefs on you, but weren't open to you. Wow, not great ambassadors for their cause. Colin says they are programmed to not let outsiders water down the programming that their church has inflicted upon them. And you know what's so crazy? Okay, so Tom Ladegard, if you guys don't know who this superstar rock star is, he's the creator of eternal-roots.com. So it's Eternal Roots. Eternal-Roots, his business. And I had the privilege of being interviewed. He did my life documentary, and our situation was kind of unique in the sense that we did it twice. But we were talking about this the other day. He came over and he did my documentary, and I wanted to, if there was one question that I really, really held of high value, was what one thing would you say to the world? Like what if you could change the world or do anything to like make a difference in the world or whatever, what would it be? And I responded with something along the lines of that we are free. We are all free to choose our own truth. And it doesn't matter. Like I personally, I completely respect everybody's religion. My best friend DeVette is hardcore Christian. I love her to death. I listen to her points of views. She listens to mine. I love her. She loves me regardless. But the thing is in my opinion, I think religion breeds fragmentation, and it separates us in the sense that it's like, you know, those Jehovah's Witnesses came to your door and wouldn't see your perspective because I think it was fear-based. They're like, oh my gosh, scripture's not in there. It's a sin. I don't think that there is such a thing as sin. I don't think we're born into sin. I think we're born in perfectness. I think we're born... I don't think we're cursed. But again, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but you know, I just think like when we really look at things from a higher perspective and see the actuality of the Dharma and the religious aspect of things, like I so respect those people who can be religious, but will hang out with all sorts of other religious people or non-religious people because they love people in general. And it's not about their religion. Yeah, they have their faith. Yeah, they have their beliefs, but they can put that aside and be like, hey, I see you for who you are. I see you as a human being. I see you as an infinite soul. And I can still relate to you, even though we may not agree on some things, but that doesn't make me right or you wrong or vice versa. And I think it's so cool that this day and age that we're living in, it's really like we're transitioning into the awakening age. It's like we went, you know, from the industrial, you know, age to the technology age to the information age. And now it's like we're going into this awakening age. And it's so cool to be a part of. And we all chose to come down here and incarnate at this time for a certain specific reason at this time period. And to remember that and to remember what it was and what it is that we're supposed to be doing is so powerful, because we do all have, I believe we have a core purpose. I mean, I think we do have many purposes throughout our lives and many hats that we wear, many forms that we take. But at the end of the day, we have a core purpose and a core reason for being here on this planet. I mean, if you think about all those sperm that, you know, had the opportunity to get into the egg and then you were born, like, it's just crazy. I mean, it's really, really magical. Like, life is magical in general. And it's just, I love it. I love it when people, whether religious or not, because like I said, I don't judge, that's your thing. But I love it when people can really find common ground in just the humanity aspect, that we're all humans. And really, you know, I believe that these man-made laws and these man-made things that separate us are really starting to come to surface as being false anyway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all believe in there's a God, there's something. I talk to my angels every single day. I mean, I have such an amazing connection with the other realm that I can't even explain. And I know for myself that it's true. But I know that other people have different experiences and different perspectives, and I respect that. And I think we all should. But that's just my opinion.
Well, like, I see, like, from my perspective, that, like, a lot of people, when I try to push my beliefs on you, or I shut your beliefs out, and then you might live next door, but because you believe differently, I won't even talk with you at all. That this is what is breeding the problem. This is why we have wars, and this is why people want to go kill other people, because you don't believe what I believe. And it is beautiful to be able to have beliefs and sit with other people that have different beliefs, because listen, these are just beliefs, and they're for you to have. They're not for us to force upon people.
Yes.
Now, it's great to share beliefs, but let's just say that you and I can't come to an agreement on a particular belief. Does that say I disown you as a friend? You don't come over and I don't accept you as my family. Our kids don't get to play together anymore. We don't get to travel to each other's country, or we don't get to do these things because my belief's going to shut you out and box you up in a cage. That's just not... And then it boxes me up, because now I'm robbed of the relationship with you and all the beautiful things that you were placed into my life to bring. But because of a belief, I'm going to just cut you off. And I believe us trying to force our beliefs on people or shutting people off because their belief is different than ours is the problem.
Right.
Is the main problem.
Exactly. And everybody's entitled to believe whatever they want to believe, and that's okay. For me, what I've learned, because I was raised Catholic and I went to private Christian high school, and I it didn't resonate with my soul at all. And I, during college for electives, what you're supposed to be doing for fun, I studied religion. I studied the Old Testament. I studied the New Testament. I studied Judaism. I studied like a bunch of different things because I needed to find my own truth. I wasn't the type of person that was going to let somebody else or a hierarchy or something tell me my own truth. And I had to find out for myself because I'm just like the natural investigator, and I did that. And so I found for what's true for me. But what's true and right for me may not be true and right for you, but that's okay. And so, but I'm limiting myself and my learning abilities and my growth when I don't pay attention because you don't believe what I believe. I think that's ignorant. And I think that like when we get into that state, like, okay, we may, like, let's just agree to disagree. But I'd love to hear your perspective, because I love learning. And if you want to hear mine, I'll tell you if you want to learn too. And, we can rap together or something, but when you're just completely closed off, it's like there's no advancement there. Like there's, what do you...
I've come from a place where, and I'm not going to try to bring people into it, but like I will, family and friends at times, when they don't believe what you believe, or you're in a disagreement with their belief, or you do something wrong that's against somebody's belief, they'll go back and they share this with everybody. It's like gossip.
Right.
And they say, well, he thinks he knows everything, or he did this, or his belief is so wrong, and they all they validate as a group that you're not following the family beliefs, or you're not following the pact of the friendship beliefs or whatever. And then they almost like try to cage you up in these things of like, if you don't, it's like because I don't believe like you, then I'm almost held a hostage. And I feel like at times a lot of people in my life, in my family, for instance, like, because I've taken a different route, and I'm really growing away from the family, I think, basic ideas, because they're a lot Christianity and stuff, that I just don't fit in. And then because I have made mistakes with them in the past, I feel because my beliefs are different from them, I'm actually being punished by friends and family members because I've been told, like, well, you think you're better than us because you're trying to get better. I've even been told, you think that you're Jesus. And I'm like, I'm Wade. Jesus is some other great person, but I'm not him. I mean, thank you, but I don't believe that. I'm not walking around thinking I'm God or Jesus. Well, anyway, I won't get into that. I know that I'm not Jesus, but I think I am a part of God. I think everybody is. Yeah. And that is the truth. And for me, but I feel like a lot of people in my particular life, that when my beliefs aren't aligning with theirs, I get punished. And when I get punished, it means, well, when you can start behaving properly, which means follow the way of our belief system, then we'll stop punishing you, and you're welcome to come over to have dinner, or we'll invite you to family, just anything. You'll acknowledge me that I'm even part of the family.
Yeah, you'll sort of fit in then.
So, but it's all just a growing process, and I'm actually thankful for everybody, whether they're friends, family, or foe, that have brought this to my attention, because it allows me to recognize that I was doing this to other people. And they always say, there's a saying of kind of like, people can show you who you don't want to be. Well, the truth is by people showing me who they are, they're exactly showing me who I want to be. And if they want to be who they are, that's great, but they don't have to push me to say, you have to be like this too, you have to think like this too. I'm very happy that you guys have conviction for what you believe in, and that you want to share it with everybody, because I want to do the same thing too. But if you start hating me because I have different beliefs once you've shared, then I feel bad, because I don't want to walk away with that feeling. I love you. I care about you. You deserve to believe what you believe. And if it's filling up your life, then that's the belief for you. Mm-hmm. Because, I have gone to church, and I have indulged in a lot of other realms of religion and Christianity and stuff. And some of it has made me feel really good, and it's really was meant for me. And other times it was completely rejecting me. And I know what God is. And so I know when to walk away, and I know what's for me and what's not for me. And I did tell those Jehovah's Witnesses ladies, I said, that the same book that they're reading out of, that there's all these other congregations that are reading out of the same book, and you all are arguing amongst yourselves about what's right and wrong in this book and the words. And they did inspire me to rewrite W.A.D.E factors that adds in stuff that can lead you to scripture that will still point out the same things that is in W.A.D.E factors. Because God has been sending the same message through everybody. Yeah. And some people were considered prophets, and more people listened to what came out of their mouths. But a lot of us were saying the same words of God. We're saying the words of God. We're speaking God's word. And everybody should know it, because it's the one that makes you feel good. It's the one that makes you happy. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's not a belief that when it's brought to your attention, even if you don't agree with it, you feel anything but okay or happy. It's not judging you. It's not doing anything. In fact, if it has its own belief and you have your own, it says, wow, I'm really happy and interested in to know more about it. Kind of like when we travel and you meet other cultures. When you go on vacation, you want to learn about Hawaiians and Polynesians. If you go to Japan, you want to learn about Japan history and culture. Otherwise, what are you going there for? Right. If you don't want to learn about people's ways and people's beliefs and people's styles, then that is pretty, I don't know, it's pretty boring, and it's kind of a boxed mentality that I actually lived in. And the big part of this challenge for me, too, is just continuing to stay out of that box. I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be on a label. I'm everything and anything I want to be, and I'm not going to be held down or held back by anybody. Except for myself. I'm the only one doing it.
Well, you know? And like everybody at the end of the day, I think whoever comes into our lives, whether it's based on the vibrational levels of the fear levels or the vibrational levels of love levels, we learn something. And that's so cool. I mean, because it's all a learning process. Like, whether we can learn something and take something away as valuable knowledge and insight, it really all depends on our perspective and our perception, you know, and that's what really determines. I mean, we all have different perspectives and perceptions, and that's what determines our reality at the end of the day. And so to be able to do that, I mean, to be able to see that you do learn something from everybody, whether it's someone that pisses you off and pushes your buttons, or whether it's someone that you just want to like hug and kiss, like, it's just really, really cool. And Colin says that when we accept that others are doing the best that they can with what is going on in their box, we start to experience less inner conflict. However, we do not have to continue to associate with them. Birds of a feather should flock together. Thank you, Colin.
They do. I love that saying. It is so true.
Yes.
And if you're wondering what flock you're in, just pay attention to the feathers around you, right, or whatever.
Exactly. And Nicole Ladegard joined. Hi, Nicole. She says, good perspective, Tiffany. I love people for who they are, no matter what religion they follow. We can all learn from each other. Yes, Wade, who wants to live in a bunch of boxes? Tom Ladegard says, great substantive. Tom, are you using your lawyer words with me? Just kidding. Discussion tonight. Great value. Just finished Dave's show before this. Wow. I know awesome people. No need for TV in this house. You got that right. We don't even have one. We have one. It's just over in the living room. And then Colin says, it's a shame when the religious fraternity purely repeat the beliefs they were taught rather than those gained from personal experience. I really, really agree with that, Colin. And hi, Nana joined, Nana Hensley. So yeah, let's see. We've been on for about an hour now. Do you have anything to add, or do you want to recap on our challenge?
I was going to say something about Tom Ladegard, because this guy is so amazing. One of my videos in the 30-day, we'll talk about him a little bit, because he really has affected me, and it's amazing because I really have never even met even you. I've never met you in person or anything like that, but. The fact that, you were saying that we already have a purpose before we get here, and a lot of the time that everything we go through leads us to that purpose. And the purpose can change, too, as time. Sometimes you fulfill your purpose, and it's time to, and then the new one arrives. But just Tom's story about eternal roots and about 19 years ago with his mom and the psychic saying that he was supposed to do something. And here it is unfolding. And what I've learned really recently is like, you can't escape your destiny. Before you came here, you already had a contract of what it was you were going to do here. Some of us came here to really just do nothing, to be honest with you. Like, that was our purpose, to maybe just observe or to just be a part of little creations and stuff. But Tom Ladegaard could not escape this no matter how hard he tried. It took him 19 years or whatever to realize it and get hit on the head with a V8 and go, oh, wow, because he was already moving into it. But he is just an amazing person, and everything that he's experiencing and how he's embraced it so well is just, it's just encouraging to me, and it lights me up. It makes me feel so good. He's got such a beautiful family, and he's just not the stereotypical lawyer. You know, I have a lot of lawyer friends, and the attitudes that they have and their cynical way of the world and society, and it's just, he breaks the mold of that, and he's so refreshing, and I'm so proud of him for breaking off and doing his own thing. He can still do law stuff and do this eternal roots and do what he was really meant to do. And you know what, there's no doubt, without a doubt, I knew this before he even knew this, that this is gonna be huge. And this is growing so big, and I just wanted to thank Tom for that, actually, just to point out the fact that we are all here for a purpose, and sometimes you don't know what that is, or you say, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Sometimes it's just a matter of just sitting yourself down and being quiet and just really looking within yourself. And a lot of, I think, people's purposes is if you just, what do you like to do? What are your interests? What makes you happy? What fills you up inside? Sometimes it's, you know, there's all different answers for that, but a lot of the times, what makes you feel good is leading you to your purpose.
Yes.
And we get so discombobulated with the frequencies of the world, and we get weighed down by gathering so much stuff on us and be carried around, and it has nothing to do with us, that we're really so practiced strongly in the negative side of things. And just like with beliefs, when they're really deep-rooted, a lot of people say, well, it's so hard to stay positive or be happy all the time. I say, no, you're actually really good at what you do. You've just been doing it on the opposite spectrum. You give way too much attention to the drama, way too much attention to the negativity. And because of that, it's hard, even if the purpose came and slapped you in the face, you would just take offense to it. And you need to move to what feels good and allow the process and allow the unfoldings. And during the unfoldings, you'll get a lot of resistance. And that's what it's about. That's how you grow closer and closer to your purpose. And that's how you fulfill it. And the truth is for me, I've embraced the awkward and crappy, shitty feelings that you get that come from resistance, that is considered, you know, the hard work. But I look at it now and I love it. I love the process. I love what people call hard work. I love the resistance, because that allows me to grow, and it allows me to measure myself in so many different ways. And without it, I would not be able to do so. I would literally need other people's opinions to let me know. And then how would I know if that's true or not? And so I'm really living the truth of my life by doing what I'm doing and sharing with everybody. And I'm getting a lot from everybody, like Tom, Tiffany, Dave Daly, Kelly Fitzgerald. All of these people are doing such amazing things in their life every day. And just by tuning in, because I went towards my purpose, it led me to all of you guys. And I'm tuning in all the time at the right time. Because there's so much social media going on. We can tune into anybody, you guys, but you guys are tuning into us right now.
And that's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Many choices, and the universe has guided you here for a reason. And if you say, what are these people talking about? If you just listen, the purpose is in there for you. You say, oh, I was guided here to hear, even if it was just one thing that we said out of a whole hour or 2 hours of talking, that was the purpose of you tuning in, to get that little 2 cents. And then you take that 2 cents and go do what you want with it.
Absolutely.
You know?
And, you know, you mentioned all these amazing people and stuff. And I, again, with Tom Ladegaard, he kind of really, it was watching his video of when he went downtown and did a documentary for a lawyer that had passed, and was talking to his sister. And you know, Tom is just such a unique man, because I love it when a guy especially can just get emotional and vulnerable. And I mean, to me, that's a real man. Like, not having to put on this persona or this like fake aspect of being also macho. He can't show his, you know, his other side, is his sensitive side. And after watching that video, I made like 4 people watch it. Even Dave Daly, when he came over here, it was one of our brainstorming nights and one of our mastermind nights, and I told Dave, I'm like, you have to watch this right now, and I put it on for him. But that video, literally, I was like, wow, that just changed my perspective so much on what I do, because I'm like, what the fuck? I'm falling so short. This guy is like, he's out there like doing his stuff, hustling. He's having all these new experiences that he doesn't really understand and can't make sense of yet, but he will eventually, and he is actually doing it, you know, as he goes through the process. But that was just so inspiring, and for him to put himself out there like that, and you could tell it was real. I mean, when I had him over here on the Gratitude Show, I remember the most memorable thing about that night was when he was talking about his wife, Nicole. And he teared up, and he just was like, she chose me. Like, and he literally almost cried. And I almost cried from watching that. Like, that was just so sweet, so genuine, so authentic. And I think, like, when we all show that side of us, like, that's real. That's what people want to see. They don't want to really see the drama on, you know, TV and everything. They want to know the real truth about people. Like, who are you? What's your soul like? Like, you know?
And Tom has like embraced it so beautifully.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest with you. One of the videos that I want to make is about that day when he shared about what happened on the train. I honestly, I'll get emotional right now about it, because I've shared that with other people, and I cried, I swear, because it's such a beautiful thing, and that he shared it, and he's just a beautiful man, and I have so much respect for him. And when I actually went to my best friend Carolyn's house, and I was telling her about Tom W.A.D.E, and I was telling her about that video and that experience. And when I was at her house, I was just like, my body just vibrated and lit up, and it's even happening right now. Every time, Tom, I talk about this, my whole body tingles. And it's like I'm being visited, and I just thank you. I gotta let them know now. Thank you guys for visiting me and being here with me and a part of this, because I just feel the Spirit visit me. I feel like I was at Carolyn's, and I swear for like 3 minutes straight, I couldn't almost talk to her. I just kept saying thank you I was milking this beautiful, vibrational, spiritual feeling in regards of talking about that Tom W.A.D.E video and what he was experiencing. It was so beautiful. And I've had these experiences too, but here you go. We got this lawyer. And that's the thing for me too. He's just, typically you wouldn't expect this guy to be saying this.
Right. And he's like just the coolest
but he is, guy. And I love him for it.
Okay. Whoops, sorry. Tom says, this was a while back. You can try to escape it, but you'll be miserable. It took 19 years to mature and become ready. Wow. So humbled by your words, Wade. Both of you have been instrumental in my journey. Seriously, thank you. Dude, you're crushing it. Follow your heart, not your brain. And Colin says, sometimes we have to notice the contrast to know what we should steer away from. Colin is, like I said, another just genius, brilliant soul that I've had the opportunity to connect with. And he's doing big things in this world. I don't know if he's launched his
I think I've connected with him, but I need more. If you can send me more information, because if he's putting out videos, I'd like to tune into that as well.
Yeah, and he's coming out with Rome pretty soon, I think, or if he hasn't yet. Colin, if you're watching, you should get a hold of Wade, and so he can.
We're friends.
You are, okay. So he can learn more about you. But it's just so amazing, like all these people that, I mean, and I know it's true for you too, Wade. all these amazing people that just in less than a year I've connected with, and really that just is such a reflection of my inner world. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't have all these amazing relationships where I'm a really private person. I generally don't open up to people. I don't like my real self, you know. And there's been like over a handful of people this past year that I've really been able to get really intimate with, and that's really new for me because I grew up aloof. I grew up a loner. I was, you know, I ate lunch by myself at school because all the girls hated me. I never fit into a clique. Like I was okay reading a book and, you know, just doing my own thing. I didn't really care. So I graduated high school at 16. I wanted to get the hell out of there and start my life already. But, like, that's just, it says so much about all of us. Like, Colin, you, me, Tom, Dave, even Nicole. Nicole is a freaking rock star. I don't even know how she does it as being like a wife, a mom of two amazing children. Gary Oakley, like I'm forgetting so many people that like are just so amazing. I'm sorry?
I was going to say David. His last name is slipping my mind. Dave. Can't remember.
I was trying to see. Did I mention his name earlier?
It's not Dave Daly, but it's another man named Dave.
Oh.
That I think his name's David. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
anyway, whatever.
not only meeting all these people, but being able to establish a bond, a connection, and where we're so similar. I mean, yeah, we're all different people at the end of the day, but our souls connect. You know, we connect on a soul level, not a human level. And that's what adds so much value into my life. And without like everybody, including yourself, W.A.D.E, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be doing this challenge. I wouldn't be knowing that like what I need to do is so much bigger than just me. It's not, I mean, it's on a huge scale, and all of us together have come together for a purpose and a reason at this time in our lives, you know, and it's just, I want to do something good with it. I don't want to just waste it, because I just think that that's sad if we're just to waste it.
I think that it's would be a shame for us not to share the process and to be do the process.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much for doing this with me, because, you know, this is what I need.
Me too. I know, me too. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. See, and so that's a perfect example of how people's paths cross, and you either take the opportunity and do something with it, or you just shrug it off and be like, that was just a coincidence. Like in my world, there's no such thing as coincidences. Never. Like there's always a setup, a foundation for you to make a choice to do something, whether you choose to take advantage of that opportunity or whether you choose not to. You know, it's up to you, because at the end of the day, we have free will. But taking the advantage, like when we were talking the other night, I noticed you were going through a lot of the similar things that I was going through too. And that's why I was like, dude, let's do a challenge. Let's challenge each other to grow more. And after these 30 days, we're going to be better people. And no matter what, like, as long as, you know, we just be real, we share our vulnerability publicly, and we just really don't give a crap what people say, think, or whatever. That's on them, because we know we're coming from a good place and our intentions are good. Then, wow, I can only imagine 30 days from now how much we're going to grow and how much value we're going to add to, because I know for a fact that we will. And I welcome anybody who wants to do a vulnerability challenge, or, you know, join us in this or whatever. Like, that would be so cool to
please do.
See other people's perspectives and just really just start being real. Like, stop hiding from ourselves and stop being fake and stop pretending, you know, just pretending in general. Like, you know, my life every day, other people, it's crazy because I get these instant messages. Like, I literally cannot keep up with my social media. I'm horrible. I will be the first to admit I'm challenged and I'm working a lot in that area. But I get hundreds of messages from these people from all over the world, and they're like, oh, you need to help me get out of my country. You've got so much money. You know, you want me to be vulnerable and honest right now? I don't pay my own bills. I don't make that much money. I thank God for my boyfriend Dino, who like supports me and allows me to do me and figure myself out, and like how I can transition into being able to afford to do stuff on my own. Before I met him, I left a $12,000 a month paying career, I don't want to say career, but job, whatever. And it wasn't in alignment with my purpose. And that was at the transition where I needed for me to be okay and to start living my life on my purpose and to start living by example. I had to quit that because it didn't make me happy, and I wouldn't be able to have what I have, the type of relationships that I have today, if I was to continue down that path. I had to change my friends. I had to change my living circumstances. I had to change literally everything. And do you know how hard it was to walk away from $12,000 a month, even though that's not that much money? But I was able to buy whatever I want. I mean, I lived very outlandishly, and then like to walk away and then start from nothing again and start all over. And like, thank God for Dino. Like, he's just been so supportive.
Thank you, Dino.
Like, and he's just the sweetest man. And you know, I learned in the beginning, I pushed him away because I was scared, because I didn't, you know, after a 12-year marriage, I didn't want to get back into a relationship. I was single for a year and 5 months or whatever by choice. Like, I didn't want a guy in my life. And he was just so persistent, and he knew what he wanted, and I finally gave him a chance, and I'm so thankful and glad I did. But what I learned through that process was that, like, I would have never been able to attract even somebody on that scale and that caliber, on that vibrational frequency, that was just a perfect fit, if I didn't do my inner work and really like just start seeing things at face value, knowing where my weaknesses were, and working on making them better and embracing them, and then enhancing my strengths, and then really turning everything around, even though it meant walking away from money, even though it meant walking away from addictions that I had been in, or people that I shouldn't have been hanging out with, or, you know, things I shouldn't have been participating in, or going to places I shouldn't be. And that whole entire little by little turnaround, I've realized that it's like, wow, like looking back, like, oh my gosh, like I've done a complete 180 or 360, whatever they call it. But then, like, this is just the beginning. I've got so much more to go and grow. You know what I mean? So that's what I love that about life. I love that so much, because we get to like a certain point, and then we're like, wow, look how much we've learned. Okay, what's next? You know, we're never, I don't know. We're always evolving, either backwards or forwards. And I love it. I think it's beautiful.
You just always remember, like, I like the saying, like, you know, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
And sometimes we're always just so quick to try to get to where we're trying to go, because we think that that's the answer. And the truth is once you get there, life is still going to go on. So you can get there and it doesn't even look like what you thought it would look like. You can chase your dreams and your goals and show up there and achieve them all, and it's like, this is what it is. And you have to start to recreate yourself all over again and find a new reason or a new purpose or whatever. And you say, but this is a lifestyle. So like, it's you know, some things you do need to sprint to. You need to take action right away, because the opportunity is right there and it isn't going to stay around. But this life is a marathon. And if you realize that, we all just need to slow our pace down a little bit so we can actually move and grow forward. Well, look, it's I think it's the tortoise won over the hare, right? So there's the proof in the pudding.
Yes, absolutely.
Just get a nice steady pace, and pace is the race, is what they say in horse racing.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race.
Pace is the race. If you stay steady, yeah, you can really come in and look good towards the end. A lot of the time we have so much regret at the end because we ran our life like a sprint the whole time. Mm-hmm. And we didn't get to enjoy anything because we were moving too fast. Right. And, you know, you find out later that people's regrets of just not spending time with their family, or just all the things that I could have, would have, should have done. And part of this process too is to not have those.
I don't want to be on my deathbed saying that either. I don't at all. So I'm glad. Colin Porter says, sometimes we have to notice the contrast to know what we should steer away from. And he says, yeah, Wade, let's hook up, brother. Nicole Ladegard says, wish you both could see Tom's face. He is so touched by your words and your love and support for him. Thank you for all of it. It's such a pleasure. It's our pleasure, Nicole. And you have a badass husband.
Thank you, Ladegard family. All of you. The whole family's just beautiful.
Even their babies are just so adorable. Oh my gosh, I love their kids. They came over here.
I even remember this time, like Nicole was on doing her live video, and she was talking about doing some jewelry or some stuff coming up, and I believe she had her son up there with her, and Tom was down cooking dinner with the daughter, and then Tom had typed in, he's like, if you need me to come up and get him, just type in the code word like pineapple or whatever. And it's just, I was just laughing. Just from observing the relationship just through this little posting on Facebook, is like, it's such a lovely thing. It's beautiful. And that family is just awesome. I admire them. And, you know, they're a lot of work. They're doing a lot of good work in my life, just being themselves and sharing it the way that they are, you know, and they're just doing them. They're just doing them. And that's what I want to do. I just want to be me. And if people love me like I love them, that would make me feel good.
Right.
So but I'm Skyping on my phone right now, and it's not plugged into a charger, and I've got like 5 more bars before my phone just dies on you. So if this dies before we say goodbye, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you, Tiffany, for bringing this challenge up for me so we can do this together. And I'm looking forward to posting my first video tomorrow, because I don't want to pay you $20. Or I don't want you to have to pay, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really, really appreciate your support, your encouragement, just your time. We love you all. Just remember how amazing everybody is. You're all just so awesome. And yeah, so for the next 30 days, you'll be seeing a video from us every single day, sharing our shit, sharing the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. That's what I always said my next show is going to be. And we love you guys. Take care and have a great Thursday. It's Thursday, right?
Thank you.
Okay, bye everybody.